Hi guys, Al Smith here. Today we're going to talk about the super reverse. The super reverse only occurs in those situations where the opener or the overcaller, these are the only two people that can make a super reverse, were planning on bidding a reverse with their second bid, but their partner passes, indicating they've got a very weak hand. The reason we separate this out and discuss it separately is because it's really important to know how to determine when you're strong enough in order to continuing bidding with a reverse after your partner passed. Just like a normal reverse, since you were planning a normal reverse, the requirements are the same. You've got to have 5 to 6 cards in a lower ranking suit that you're going to bid first, and 4 to 5 cards in a higher ranking suit that you're going to bid second. Okay, and just to restate the obvious, a 6-5 distribution shape is much better than a 6-4, which is then much better than a 5-4. These are the only shapes that qualify for bidding a reverse. Okay, let's look at a couple of examples of opener super reverse of the auction that occurs. And remember, this can only occur after the responder passes. In this first example, the opener bids 1 club. The first opponent passes and the responder passes. When the responder passes in this situation, the responder is saying, hey, I've got less than or equal to 5 points. Could have 4 spades, but has less than or equal to 5 points. The second opponent overcalls 1 heart. Now, it comes back around to the opener, and the opener, if the opener has a reverse-shaped hand, 5 to 6 clubs, 4 to 5 spades, and enough points, or strong enough, then the opener can bid 1 spade. This would be a super reverse occurring at the 1 level. This is the only time that reverse can be shown by a bid at the 1 level. Okay, this is an opener reverse, because if the opener had 5 spades to begin with, and 5 clubs, unless it was a very unusual situation, the opener would have bid 1 spade. So therefore, this is reversed. Now let's look at a 2-level super reverse by the opener. 1 club, 1 heart. The second opponent raises to 2 hearts. Now, the opener can continue the auction by bidding 2 spades. This again would be a reverse. Now, because the responder has passed, okay, while the responder has passed, is actually the responder can have a stronger hand than what's in the first example, because he may not have enough points to bid his suit at the 1 level. He might have 5 or 6 diamonds, for example, and not be able to bid at the 2 level. Now, because of the availability of the responder negative double, that would be not very probable, because with 4 spades, 6+ points, the responder would probably bid negative double instead of the pass. Therefore, we still have to assume that the responder is very weak. So the challenge here is, when can the opener continue with their plan to make a reverse? We'll talk about that on the next slide. Let's look at an example when the overcaller super reverse. Okay, in this case, we have the opener bidding 1 club, and the overcaller is bidding 1 diamond. Okay, that goes pass, pass. Now, for this particular situation in this auction, where we have both the responder and the advancer passing, we know that the points are probably distributed between the opener and the overcaller. Okay, now this is kind of interesting, because in this situation, the overcaller actually has the advantage over the opener, because they bid second, and it appears that their suits are going to be stronger. Okay, now in this situation, the opener bids 1 heart. Now notice, 1 heart is an opener super reverse. It says, hey, I've got 5 to 6 clubs and 4 to 5 hearts. Now, in this example, then the overcaller bids 1 spade. So it's 1 diamond, 1 spade. This is a super reverse by the overcaller. This is kind of a fun example, okay, indicating that they've got 5 to 6 diamonds and 4 to 5 spades. So you can see that in this example, the overcaller has the advantage because the diamonds are higher than the clubs and the spades are higher in rank than the hearts. And again, this is the only time that the overcaller can have a 1 level super reverse. Now, in the second example here, the overcaller can make a bid, also bid a super reverse. So over open 1 heart, the overcaller overcalled 2 clubs. So it was passed, and then the opener rebid their hearts, showing probably 6 plus hearts. Okay, and in this example, the overcaller made a super reverse by bidding 2 spades. What he's saying is, hey, I've got 5 to 6 clubs and 4 to 5 spades, and I'm strong enough to continue this auction by myself. That's really the key. And it's used in those situations where the shape of the hand gives the reverser a strong hand, a strong playing hand, because it's a 2-suit hand. Okay, how do you determine if you're strong enough to do a super suit, how to bid a super reverse or to bid a reverse after your partner has passed? Okay, there's a couple of considerations that we need to talk about. Remember that reverse is a distributional shape based hand. Okay, and what this describes is a hand with 5 to 6 cards in the first bid suit and 4 to 5 cards in the second bid suit with sufficient strength. Now, since your partner has passed, okay, either the responder or the advancer, in the responder in the case of the opener or the advancer in the case of the overcaller, the person that's going to make a bid of reverse in this hand must be strong enough to play the hand by themselves. You can't assume that your partner is going to have anything. So the real question is, when is it safe to do that? Okay, so now, how do you determine the level that the reverse is potentially going to force your partner to bid? Well, okay, the safe level in terms of the reverse is what level does your partner have to bid to in order to support the first bid suit. In this particular, and this we want to determine the safe level because we're going to use 2, 3, 4 to determine whether it's safe for us to bid a reverse after our partner has passed. In this example here, the first bid suit is clubs, and he bids 1 spade. Okay, so this is a super reverse at the 1 level. Now, in order for the responder to show support for the first bid suit, they must be able to bid 2 clubs. All right, so that establishes that it must be safe for to be able to force your partner to bid at the 2 level. Okay, so partner must be able to bid 2 clubs to pick the first bid suit. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to use 2, 3, 4. Now, when we initially calculate our value with 2, 3, 4, we're doing it, and there's an underlying assumption that our partner has something. Okay, now when our partner passes, that gives us additional information that they have a very weak hand. So what we're going to do is we're going to subtract 1 from the 2, 3, 4 result to determine what the safe level is that you can force your partner to bid. Now, the safe level is going to be equal to so when we start out, if our 2, 3, 4 result was 2, indicating it's safe for us to bid to the 2 level or force our partner to bid to the 2 level, then plan was to that would allow us to do a reverse if the level that we force our partner to bid to is the two level, like in this first example, the 2 clubs. But when we subtract 1, we're going to get 1. So if it started at 2, it's going to be decremented to 1. Now it's only going to be safe to force our partner to the 1 level. We'll see how this works in several examples. Okay, but if this were the result, and this were the auction, and the above is the auction example, we would not be strong enough to bid a reverse. All right, let's take a look at this example here. Okay, I've started with, and it's the same example we have up here. Our adjusted 234 value needs to be greater than or equal to 2 in order for us to bid 2 clubs. So if we went through this example, we started with 2, our partner passes to adjust to 1, we would not be strong enough to bid 2 clubs in this situation. Okay, now if our ability, if the responder is going to have to go to the 3 level in order to bid, show a preference for the first bid suit as shown in the second example, the adjusted 234 value is going to be greater than 3. Okay, so what we're doing is we're using 234, we're adjusting the result of the 234 result in order to determine if we're strong enough to continue with our original plan of bidding reverse. Let's look at a couple of examples where the opener may or may not be able to bid a super reverse. In this first example, the vulnerability is vulnerable versus vulnerable. Okay? We note that because we use what the vulnerability is in a determination of 234. If we look at the hand here, we've got 5 clubs, 4 spades, 2 diamonds, and 2 hearts. We've got 15, 16, we've got 14, 16, 17 points. So we've got a strong hand. Now we've got the right shape for a reverse. We've got 5 clubs and 4 spades. So we can bid clubs first. Our plan, given that our initial 234 is 7 minus 5 plus 3 is 5, which is plenty. Okay, now when we partner passes, what we're going to do is subtract 1 in this formula. Instead of the result being 5, it's going to be 4. If 4 is much greater than 1, now greater than 2, because in this situation, if we bid a reverse by bidding 1 spade, which is going to be a reverse to 1 level, our partner, in order to select the show preference for clubs, which is our first bid suit, is going to have to bid 2 clubs. Since 4 is greater than equal to 2, we're strong enough to be able to bid the reverse. So a responder bidding 2 clubs is a safe bid. So we're going to go ahead and bid 1 spade as a reverse. Now that's really nice because we can continue the auction and we can show our second suit. It's safe to show our second suit. Now what's really nice about this, let's say that the responder has 4 spades and a weak hand. And let's say they're short in clubs. So you could actually end up in 2 spade contracts, which we'll be able to easily make, okay, with a 4-4 fit in spades. So it gives you that capability of describing your hand more accurately and giving the responder the option of picking the best suit. Let's look at this second example here. Okay, in this case, we're vulnerable, the opponents are non-vulnerable. This is unfavorable vulnerability. So the V factor is only going to be equal to 2. It's the same auction here in terms of 1 club, pass, 1 heart. Now, in this case, we still have the right shape, but the hand is weak. Notice over here, we've got quite a few points. Come over here, we count 2, 3, 4. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 losers. So we start with 7 minus 7. Then we add in and subtract another 1 because our partner has passed. Okay? And then we get 2 as the B factor because of the unfavorable vulnerability. And our result, our adjusted 2, 3, 4 result is only 1. So what happens here is since 1 is less than 2, our partner would be forced to bid 2 clubs to show the club preference. The opener is not strong enough to bid at the 2 level. So the responder is not safe for our partner to bid 2 clubs. It's also note it's not strong enough for the opener to bid 2 clubs because modified result is 1. So in this case, the opener is going to pass. And most of us looking at this hand would just go ahead and bid 2 clubs. Okay, no guarantees that we're going to be able to make 2 clubs in this situation. In fact, it puts us at a fairly high degree of risk since we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 losers. Okay, let's look at this situation. In this one, we have favorable vulnerability, not vulnerable versus vulnerable. And the opener opens 1 heart, and then the overcaller bids 2 diamonds, goes pass, pass. So in essence, the responder is saying to the opener, I don't have 3 hearts and 6 plus points. They could have 3 hearts, but they don't have 6 plus points. Otherwise, they would have done a 1 over 1 raise. Okay, so in this situation, the opener has a really nice shaped hand. He's 6-4. That qualifies for a reverse. He's planning on doing a reverse because you've got 6 hearts and 4 spades, and look at the original 2, 3, 4 of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The initial result was equal to 6. Plenty of strength. That actually, because of that result, and looking at this hand, there's a really good chance to slam when the opener opens this hand 1 heart. If he had the ace, if the responder had the ace of clubs, ace of spades, and the king of spades, slams almost definite, only 11 points. So, but because the responder has passed, that's out the window. And now the question is, can the opener proceed on his own? Because the modified 2, 3, 4 result is greater than equal to in this case, to reverse, he's going to have to bid 2 spades. Then to show preference in the heart suit, the responder would bid 3 hearts. Okay, because that's at the 3 level, the adjusted 2, 3, 4 needs to be greater than or equal to 3. In this case, the modified result is 5 is greater than equal to 3. So it's safe to go ahead and bid the reverse in this situation. Now the whole point of this lesson is to help you determine when it's safe to make that reverse bid after your partner passes, because you don't want to give up on the auction if you're strong enough to show the shape of your hand and continue in the auction. Let's look at number 4. In this case, it's not vulnerable versus not vulnerable, so the B factor is going to be equal to 3. We've got the right shape with 5 clubs and 4 spades. Okay, and the adjusted 2, 3, 4. We go through the computation. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 losers. So 7 minus 6, because our partner is passed, we're going to subtract 1. So the modified or the adjusted 2, 3, 4 is equal to 3. Now, again, we've got this situation where the opponents have bid and supported, the overcaller bid hearts, and the advancer raised the heart suit. So we know that the opponents have a heart fit. Okay, because the opponents have a hard fit, the probability that we have a fit somewhere goes up. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Because the opponents have shown a fit, the probability that we have a hard fit goes up. Now, we don't want to drop out of the auction if we're strong enough to be able to show our second suit spades in this particular situation. Okay, because we've gone through using the adjusted 2, 3, 4, it says our hand is strong enough, given its shapes and trick-taking potential, to force the responder to bid to the 3 level. So what we're going to do, we're strong enough, we're going to bid 2 spades. Now what that does, it has many different effects, but it says, hey, partner, I'm bidding 2 spades. If you've got 4 spades, we're in great shape. You can pass the 2 spades. We'll play the contract of 2 spades. If you have more support for clubs, you can go to 3 clubs. All right, so you can see we're giving the responder 2 choices: play the contract in spades, play the contract in clubs. Another side benefit, it continues the competition and forces the opponents to bid 3 hearts if they want to continue competing in the auction. Now, the huge difference between 2 hearts and 3 hearts. Okay, you've got 4 tricks in your hand, probably have 4 tricks in your hand. If they go 3 hearts, all your partner needs to do is be able to deliver 1 trick and you'll set them. So it has advantages on several different fronts. It allows you to continue to bid describing your hand to arrive at a contract you've got a good chance of making, and 2, forcing the opponents up if they want to continue competing, which gives you a much greater probability of setting them. So remember, this is like a war, so it's a back and forth action. Let's look at example number 5. In this example, we're vulnerable versus not vulnerable, and this is unfavorable vulnerability. What that means is there's a greater degree of risk associated with continuing auction, especially since your partner is passed. Now, do we have the right shape? Yes, we have the right shape. I'll have to correct this. We've got 5 hearts and 4 spades. So we open 1 heart, and the opponent has bid 2 diamonds. They bid 2 diamonds, so we know the opponent has 5 plus diamonds and 10 plus points. Okay, and our partner passed, indicating they do not have 3 hearts and 6 plus points. So we go through, we calculate the adjusted value, and it comes out equal to 2. So if we bid 2 spades, what does our partner have to bid if they want to show preference for our first bid suit heart? They have to bid 3 hearts. 3 is greater than 2, or 2 is less than 3, depending on how you want to view that or state this. Okay, so we're too weak. 3 hearts is not safe to force our partner to bid. So what we're going to do is we're going to pass. Okay. Now let's look at example number 6. In this one, we have favorable vulnerability. Okay. And our shape is, we've got the right shape for reverse. Okay. Now, one of the things we should really note about this hand is that we probably erred by opening 1 heart. Okay. When tempted to do this, that's incorrect. Okay. In fact, this example is incorrect. I'm going to fix this in the handout, and you just have to examine this one on your own. Okay, let's take a look at whether the overcaller should bid continue in bidding a reverse. In this first example, we've got equal vulnerability, so the V factor is equal 3. Now, remember, the overcaller is just kind of like a second class opener. Okay, And it's, because remember, it's going to be 8 plus versus 13 plus to open. But the overcaller can have a really strong hand, okay? And we use the takeout double to show a really strong overcall with a single suit. And we also use the reverse the overcaller reverse to show a strong 2-suit hand. So let's take a look at this. Okay, do we have this auction has been 1 club, and our plan as the overcaller, because we've got 5 diamonds and 4 spades, was to bid an overcaller reverse. We've got plenty of points. Okay, so when the responder bids 1 heart, what we know now is that the opponents probably have 20 plus points. Now the question is, given the shape of our hand and the suits that have been bid, are we strong enough in order to bid a reverse, which would describing our hand to the advancement? Right? Now we'd like to continue the competition, but are we strong enough? So we calculate and modify the adjusted 2, 3, 4. We've got 7 minus 6 losers. Let's subtract another one because the advancer has passed. Okay, and we're going to, and the B factor, because the equal probability is 3, so the result is 3. So now, if we bid 1 spade, what level, what does our partner have to bid in order to show a preference for diamonds? They have to bid 2 diamonds. So since the result is equal to 3 and is greater than the 2 level associated with 2 diamonds, we are strong enough. The responder is strong enough to bid a responder reverse, an overcall reverse. So what the overcaller is going to do here is bid 1 spade. Now note that this shows 5 to 6 diamonds and 4 to 5 spades. Does that match what we've got? Yes, it does. We've got 5 diamonds and 4 spades. All right, so we can safely continue in the auction, competing in the auction, given the vulnerability. Let's look at this hand here. It's the same auction with a few less points. Not a lot, but just we've got, in this case, we have the right shape. We have 5 diamonds and 4 spades. So what we do is we calculate the adjusted 2, 3, 4. The result is 2. All right. In order for us to bid a reverse in this situation, because the opponent bid a club and then raised a club, we'd have to bid 2 spades to bid the reverse, because our partner would then have to bid 3 diamonds to show preference in the first suit. Our safe level is 3. Since 2 is less than 3, we're not strong enough to bid the reverse. So we're going to gracefully bow out of the auction by passing. In this third example, we have the open 1 club, the responder bid 1 heart, and now the responder made a jump raise in club showing either a weak hand or a limit raise. And we're going to assume they're using something called inverted minors, and this is showing a weak hand. All right, now the question is, the overcaller's got a really nice hand here. It's got 6 hearts and 4 spades, and in terms of number of losers, the initial losers got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's the initial result in terms of his 2, 3, 4 safe level is 6. We're going to adjust 1 because the advancer has passed, so it says the safe level is 5. Now 5 is, and if we look at this, if we bid 3 spades for a reverse, okay, in order for a partner to show preference of hearts, they're going to have to bid 4 hearts. So the reverse is still open, even at this level. We could bid 3 spades, but we note that in order for our partner to show the heart preference, they're going to have to bid 4 hearts. So is that safe? Because our result is equal to 5, and that 5 is greater than 4, we're strong enough to actually bid the reverse at this level. Okay, given the vulnerability. Remember, we're not vulnerable and they're vulnerable. So if we get set, we are only 50 points per trick as long as we're not double. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and bid a reverse of 3 spades. All right, that concludes the lesson on super reverses. The whole approach to the super reverse is it's a normal reverse. Remember, it's a normal reverse, but after your partner passes, the question is, are you strong enough to continue bidding in the auction? So here are how you can contact us. Have a great day.